My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text. The long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile.
Forever!
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever!
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous two-year contracts, they said, "What the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass?" So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Ladies, hello.
Hey, hey. Hey, hey, the three friends are back again.
We're all back together. Gina, it was not the same without you last week.
Well, I made it back, and I'm glad that you guys didn't kick me out.
No, we just talked bad about you.
I was going to send you that text message and be like, let me tell you something, Gina. Well, I will say I did listen to the episode, and it was actually pretty entertaining listening to it as just a listener.
Wow, what an experience.
It was an experience. I have to say, I am that asshole, 100%, Nicole. And I'm also quite the rule follower, and I get mad when you're in a public setting, people like don't have law and order and don't follow the rules. So I would probably be the one to go grab the security guard and be like, excuse me, these ladies don't have their cell phone in the bag.
But does that make you an asshole for saying something? Like, that was my whole point is, am I the problem here, or are these people the problem and I'm just reacting to it? Because I don't think I'm the problem here.
You're not the problem. I think it's a situation, but Kirsten did bring up a valid point. It's kind of like Zany's unacceptable. Like, that is not okay. It is a very small venue.
Yeah.
That is super disrespectful. And it is like, you know, they make you put your phone in those bags because you could be filming the comedian and releasing their jokes to the world before they've been to different cities.
Huh.
So that's the reason they make you do that. It's not just for being distracting. So it's like you're disrespecting the person you're seeing by not following a rule that they have in place for a reason. I also think I just get upset when people, like, everyone else is following the rules and there's always those few that aren't. It's like very annoying to me.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying. Nicole, I thought about you when I was on the airplane too. This one girl, she was like on TikTok or Instagram, and like you can hear every single time she scrolled up to a different video. And I'm sitting there and wanting to turn around and ask her, oh my gosh, can you please put on your AirPods or whatever? Luckily, the flight attendant looked over and saw that it was her, and she was like, do you have AirPods? I was like, oh, hallelujah.
They don't mess around. Those flight attendants are on top of it because I have seen that happen. I'm like, how do you go somewhere and just not put headphones in? You're on a plane watching videos just for everyone to hear?
It's so rude.
I think it's just very annoying for me when people can't read the room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it just boils down to just like read the room.
Yeah, self-awareness.
Exactly.
So I get it. Like, you're drunk, having a good time, whatever. But you just don't get that drunk if you can't handle being respectful to those around you.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I've had clients like that, guys, that will be on their phones and they'll be like editing a reel, not to like talk shade on clients, but actually it hasn't been my clients. It's been several years. But I've had clients in the salon that like they'll listen to the same song over and over and over while they're editing the reel. And I'm like, come on, like just, there's other clients in here. Like, you're not the only one sitting here. We get, you want to blast your Justin Bieber Yummy Yum song over and over to your real. We are so thankful you're posting your hair, but just like throw it in AirPod. No big deal.
That's why we have the AirPods.
Just throw them in.
No biggie.
It's funny you say that because normally when people FaceTime at the gym without headphones, it drives me bananas. And I was thinking about this last week because I knew we were going to talk about this. And then Gina FaceTimed me while I was at the gym. And I was like, I don't know if I can answer because it goes against everything I believe in. But I had headphones in. So I think it was okay because even though I was talking, they didn't have to hear both ends of the conversation. So sometimes I am that asshole. But that was a very specific conversation. We weren't just chit-chatting. We had a specific topic to discuss. So I felt okay with my actions.
And you had your headphones on. So that makes a difference because I hate when I can hear the other caller. I'm like, now who wants to hear your entire conversation? I don't want to be a part of the call.
No. Mm-mm. And my last thing on that subject, because now I'm thinking about it, one of my biggest pet peeves in the world is people who FaceTime at the grocery store. And they are going in the aisle and not moving. They stand in front of things and they're on FaceTime, not talking about the groceries. Like, if you want to show your husband, whoever, like, hey, is this what you were looking for? Great, go for it. But they're just chit-chatting, standing, not moving. And they're just not big enough for people to be idling by. Like, if I have to get something and I'm following you around and you're stopping everywhere, it's not a good experience for me.
Well, I know even if I'm talking on the phone in the grocery store, I've went ahead and added 45 minutes. I will just walk around and I'm like, I gotta get off. Like, I'll call you back because I'm not gonna be able to multitask this.
I'm the same way, Gina.
And you have headphones. That's the difference. Like, you would not be FaceTiming or on the phone without the headphones. So you've automatically made it better.
I wonder how many people feel so attacked. They're like, I'm never listening to D-List Diaries. God.
I'm sorry.
And maybe some people can actually relate, honestly, because I feel like you listening to us, you're like, oh my gosh, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Or it's crazy.
And I can relate to the, it is football season. Listen, I had to make plans during draft night.
Yep. Look at this. The girls got FOMO. I said it as a joke, but you were probably listening like, I have so many thoughts on what they're talking about.
I did. I was like, if it ain't fantasy football season, it's golf season. And if it ain't golf season, it's dove season, my friends.
Yeah, you have it worse.
They're hunting for dove.
Hunting for what?
It's about to be duck hunting.
Oh, hunting for what?
And doves.
What? No, not the doves too.
I learned this today, actually, Kirsten, that the doves, because I was like, I go in praying for the doves and the ducks. I don't want them shot.
Yeah, doves.
I'm like, please don't kill God's bird. But I'm like, that's a Christmas bird. But I did hear today that they're not, the southern doves are not like the white, like mosaic, like beautiful doves that you'd think of. They're almost like pigeons and they're gray and very ugly. So maybe like the New York doves. It's given Home Alone.
Oh, no. So are they eating those pigeons or what is going on here?
Yeah, these guys are eating the dove.
Ew.
I don't think it's pigeons. It is actual doves, but they're like gray doves. They're not the beautiful Christmas doves.
I think I've only had duck maybe once or twice, and it was delicious.
I won't eat either. My boyfriend gets upset because I don't want the dove poppers. I don't want your duck meat. I don't want any of that.
Have you ever had deer meat before?
I have. He loves he's like a man.
Carnivore.
He told me that they love to hunt because it's like they're the top of the food chain. And that's what you do. I'm like, okay, that's why guys hunt. Cool. I don't like any type of gamey meat. And I can definitely taste it. So he made tacos with deer meat and I liked it. But then like 2 days later, he made a chili and I had one bite and was like, I can't.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So it's weird how it has a distinct taste that you either are like, or you're like, no, I don't like it.
I can't remember. I can't recall if I've had deer meat or not. I don't think that I have. But I remember one girl I used to work with, her and her husband, they used to go out and hunt deers together. And she told me this story, and they would make, like you said, the deer soup, all the deer recipes. And like she took the shot one time, and it was so funny. She was like, my husband was so bad. I'm like,
well, Kaylee, my little girl in the salon, she's a turkey. She goes turkey and deer hunting, and she will like clean the bird and everything. I'm like, oh no, I can't. Like my friend and I had this conversation last fall when it was like hunting season. And I was like, I can't eat meat. And now everyone's like homesteading. So mad respect. But like, I can't eat meat if I've like seen where.
Yeah, I don't want to pick my food.
My friend was telling this funny story because we were talking about the soup and like chili and stuff. And she was like, yeah, her boyfriend had made her this soup that had duck in it. And he like spent all day. He was like, just try it. You're going to love it. And she was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And she got her bowl and there was a little feather in it.
Nope.
Oh my God. She was like, I can't. Like, it's over. I can't. And he was like, oh, come on. Just. And she was like, no, I've now seen a feather. Like, and I was like, same. If I see it, we're done.
Yeah, my mom, she used to cook the little Cornish hens sometimes, and I'm like, I'm not eating that. She would cook it in the crock pot, and I was like, no, thank you.
The whole little hen.
Yes, I'm like, oh, poor little hen. But my grandma, she used to scale fish in the kitchen. The scales from the fish would be everywhere. Let me tell you, that was some of the best fish ever.
I'm sure it's good. Like, but that anything that's like fresh when it comes to like land meat, it tastes gamey to me. And that's all right. But listen, my boyfriend won't eat any vegetables that are cold. So salad, forget it, won't touch it.
What?
He won't even eat fruit, like maybe a bite of an apple, occasional grapes. So I'm like, you can't get upset if I'm not wanting to.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I'm like, I'll eat dub when you eat salad.
Right.
That's fair.
That's fair. That is fair.
And I still probably wouldn't.
Well, he didn't hear that.
No.
Duck, duck, goose. We have Gina back, and we can finally share our story about when we were filming the Where Are They Now special, which I know we've been hyping it up for weeks, but this really is some juicy tea for you guys out there because it's a lot of behind the scenes of when shit went down.
When it hit the fan.
And I love this story, so I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna tee it up, but don't let me take over the story because you can already see me itching.
We all have our own memes from this.
I want to say long story short, but it's a long story. So we finished filming the regular season in like October, and then we filmed the reunion in March maybe, and in April we filmed the Where Are They Now special. As everyone out there knows, we're all still really good friends with each other, no animosity. Great. They put us up in this really cute little house. What was it called, the place? It had a fun, like, punny name.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a cute little retreat. I don't know. But they put us all up for the weekend. Great. So we have a different producer than we normally work with. And this producer calls Chris and I up a week or two before and is like, hey, we really want to celebrate that you two are still married. What would you like to do? And I was like, actually, I would love to do a vow renewal because you guys weren't there the first time we got married. And I think it'd be really special if we could stand up in front of our castmates and friends. And I already asked Gina to do my hair and makeup. I picked out a dress. I got all excited. And then Chris is like, and normally he's very good with the flow. And he was like, they're going to ruin this for you. They're going to take your dream and crush it. We're not doing this. I was like, oh, but I already said we would. And I really just wanted to wear the dress, honestly. But he was like, tell them no.
Good job, Chris, honestly.
Yeah.
Glad that he did that.
No, 100%. In my fantasy, it would have been nice. But I called them back and said, we're not doing it. And they're like, okay, well, now you have to come up with another thing to do to celebrate you two. It's like, why is this? It's like, I don't need to celebrate us. We've been married a few months. Like, hooray for us, but we don't need it to be a big thing. So already going in there, they're mad at me because I guess they were really excited about this vow renewal and I crushed their dreams. And then I just remember getting there and Kirsten had planned this like sound bath, which was lovely. And they were like, okay, you can do about 15 minutes of it.
Oh, yeah. You can do this for 8 seconds and then it's time to move on.
It was so relaxing. The little time that it did, a little zen, like just the 5 minutes to zen was enough for me.
It's still really awkward though when you like you're trying to relax and your eyes are closed, but you know that all the cameras are looking at you. You're like, do I look relaxed enough?
Yeah.
I went to 2 more this year, actually.
Yeah, we did go back to that same woman and having an actual sound bath with her was wonderful. But I remember she kept saying, like, you might fall asleep and you'll feel like you're not even there. And I kept waiting for it to happen. And then after she was like, no, that only happens with a full experience. So I felt like the asshole there. It was like, why don't I feel meditative? That's the story. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like generally we were having a pretty good time. Like we were all just hanging out. We hadn't all been together in a while. And then they had Clint cook a 5-course meal, which was phenomenal. Each course represented a couple. And then they brought out each course, and we all went around the table and said nice things about that couple. And I thought it was just such a beautiful moment for everyone to really come full circle, show how much we care about each other. And we get to the dessert course, the Chris and Nicole course, and they said, okay, we ran out of time.
That's a wrap.
They were like, you guys were taking too long saying nice things to each other, and the camera crew has run out of time that they're allowed to work, so we can't film anymore. And I remember losing my shit.
Your face.
I remember, now that you're saying all of this, I hate that they had to happen. I was like, they must have wanted to make Nicole upset.
You're getting hot explaining it.
I was actually shocked they didn't show my reaction, but I flipped out. I was like, no, we deserve the same thing everyone else got. We're all having a really beautiful moment. Like, people were crying. We were having such a beautiful, like, it felt like closure. It's like, we're not just going to end it here. It's a few extra minutes. And they're like, well, we told you guys to hurry up while you were going. Like, psh, you can spare 10 extra minutes. So that was really annoying.
Like they ever care about our time.
No.
If we needed 10 minutes or something.
We sat around all day, and now that it's not on your schedule, we can't film that. Then they ended up pulling a clip. I think, Gina, you said something to someone else, and they made it sound like you said it about us. It's like, that was nice, and I'm sure she would have said that nice thing to me, but it wasn't to me, and it wasn't fair.
I know. I feel like you and Chris were the main two. Since y'all stayed married, y'all deserved all the nice words. And for them to say, okay, we ran out of time, I was like, oh, that's rude. Wow.
They were like, we'll film it on our phones for you to have. Like, this isn't for me to have for my own knowledge bank. Like, this is just part of the moment. I don't need you filming it on your phones.
You don't even have to film it, honestly. Can you just like go away for a few minutes and we'll finish?
But we had to clean everything up because they rented all of the plates. So we couldn't even sit there and breathe.
Oh, and then the downward spiral began. All I remember is the producer that threw the water bottle.
Well, because they made me come up with something else instead of the vow renewal. So I remember Chris and I had to go back home for the day because I had a job interview and I couldn't do it there because it was over video and they had no service at this retreat place. So I went home. I brought back this like kind of newlywed game and they were like, no, we can't use it because it has a brand name on it. So I sat there. There was like 4 index cards and a broken pencil in the house. And I sat there and made little cards from this game of like the newlywed game so we could play it and it would be fun. I think Gina and Clint actually ended up winning.
I think so too.
But it was just like, how well do you know each other? Whatever. So we're all sitting there playing this game.
Yeah, we did win that. That's funny. I forgot.
Yeah, you did win that. We're about to play this game and they're like, you have about 20 minutes to film this entire thing. Like, you just let us stand there and get drinks for 45 minutes and now we have 5 seconds to play this game. And then we finish the game. Everyone's like, okay, cool. And then does anyone else want to take over? Because if not, I'll get super into it and no one needs to hear me talk this entire time.
I feel like you're doing so well telling this story. Let's go, and then we'll keep just speaking up when you come across something that we remember.
Okay. Thank you. So then we're all sitting there like, okay, what now? And they said, does anyone else have anything to say? We're all like, no, hi, we love you guys.
Anything want to get off their chest.
Yeah. Get off their chest.
Anything else to just clear the air because we have so much what's the word I'm looking for?
Unresolved issues or something?
Yeah, we have so many unresolved things that we clearly needed to work through. They're asking if we wanted to clear the air on anything.
If we wanted to pick a fight with each other.
Yeah.
Basically.
They wanted us to and we were like,
no.
Which backfired on them. And I'm like, now we're about to fight with you guys.
Well, and then they said, Dom, Mac, like, are you still mad at each other? Do you wish that you had stayed together? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, I mean, we wish we wouldn't have quit so easily, but it just wasn't right for us, this and that. And the producer won't say his name, but he was like, Dom, are you sure? Are you sure? You don't have anything to say? She was like, yeah, I mean, I really don't have anything to say. And he's like, what about the conversation we had in the kitchen? And we all zoom and look at Mac. And he's like, what? Me? no, you know how he gets all like paranoid. He's like, what? I didn't think we had anything left to say. She was like, no, I didn't say anything. And then the producer takes his water bottle and chucks it.
Well, it was to Dom. He was like, no, Dom, we spoke.
Yeah.
We did talk. You told me something and you don't want to tell everybody else what it was.
And then the original producer, the one who wanted Chris and I to do this vow renewal, she went off and she was like, you guys are so fake. Everyone thinks you're not being genuine. People from past casts think that you're not being vulnerable and you guys aren't really sharing how you feel. There's no way you guys would still be friends after everything that happened. Whew, I'm getting heated just thinking about it. I'll never forget. I mean, maybe you guys remember differently, but we were all just stunned. And then Shaq, like the vein in his forehead started throbbing. And I've never seen him angry. And he got so
like truly
pissed.
angry. Yeah.
Yeah, he was so angry. I was like, oh wow, didn't know this man could get angry.
You're like, ooh, do I like him now? Like this is great.
Get angrier. Let me see. How broad are your shoulders?
And then Chris got up and got mad. I was like, what?
I know. We were like,
happening?
when Shaq and Chris are mad, this is like serious. Just tell us, man. What do you want?
Oh, right. And then apparently they were like, Dom, you said that the girls leave you out and they go dress shopping without you. And she was like, yeah, I said that it sucks that I don't get to see them as much as they see each other because I live further away and it's easier for them to just pick up and get together.
Yeah, like not at all the context that they were trying to make us say that it was.
Yeah. And we felt bad. Like, I know I felt bad. I didn't want her to feel like we were leaving her out. And she was like, no, I feel like I wish I could see you guys more, but it's not that big of a deal.
Can we also just talk about the people that were running the little minibar drink truck?
Oh my God. It was like a horse's, what's the word? A hit? No. What's the word? The thing they pull horses in?
It was like a rodeo something. Was it rodeo?
Like a trailer?
Yeah, it was an old horse trailer they turned into a margarita bar, which was adorable.
And they were so nice. These people were like, oh, this is so cool. We get to like make drinks for these people on this show. And like they were couples and they're like totally not thinking it's about to be like a full blown fight between a production crew and there's like water bottles being thrown and like people yelling at each other and forehead veins popping out. They were like
a hostile takeover.
I know. They like, I just remember looking over and that sweet lady was like looking back and forth like,
can I leave now?
Over to the producers, then over to us, then over to producers. She's like, oh God, this is like more dramatic than what you actually see on TV.
Yeah. And we all threw our mic packs. I remember I went down the group of like, we're not vulnerable. And I listed off, I don't even remember at this point. I don't know how I had that.
You're like, my boyfriend burned my arm with a cigarette. And that's not vulnerable.
I was like, this one had an abortion with his girlfriend and this one and suicide and this and that. I'm like, we're not vulnerable. Who's saying we're not vulnerable? And then Gina looks at this producer and she was like, you're disgusting. I was like, that's it. We're done. We're done.
I did. I made like direct eye contact, like stared into this woman's soul and was like, it's actually disgusting that you chose this job.
I couldn't take anything serious at that moment either, Gina.
And then we were like, they're like, okay, let's just regroup and like, we'll start filming. Like, what were they like? Let's do our on the fly. And we were like, no.
We went on strike after that. We're like, regroup, baby. We're done for tonight. It's a wrap.
Revolution. We're done. This is our last day. We have 12 hours left of filming in our whole life. Like, we're not doing it. And we took our mic packs off and they're like, and then the little drink, the bartender started, because the producers, remember, they had to have walked off to reconvene and be like, uh-oh, like, what are we going to do? Because if the whole cast is starting a revolution and they won't film, we're not going to have where are they now? So they left to like reconvene in their little trailers or whatever. And those bartenders came out and they're like, anyone want a margarita?
Who needs tequila?
They started filling up our cups. We're like, we'll take one.
We all threw our mic packs off. I remember I was like, if you want to film me, you're going to have to boom my sound the whole night because I'm not putting this mic pack back on.
For those that don't know, boom is when someone literally holds the mic up manually. It's like a big, long mic, very heavy mic stick
It's a serious arm exercise.
Yeah,
So
like
Nicole was like, I'm not putting my mic back on. You can hold the boom over me all night if you want
and I
sound.
did it. I didn't realize I was the only one, but I thought like, yeah, they're just going to film us in silence. So we refused to film. We go back in the house. A few of us, not all of us, took legal special gummies. These are legal in Tennessee. They are not marijuana. They have other ingredients, but they make you feel extra silly.
This season, Instacart has your back to school. As in, they've got your back to school lunch favorites like snack packs and fresh fruit. And they've got your back to school supplies like backpacks, binders, and pencils. And they've got your back when your kid casually tells you they have a huge school project due tomorrow. Let's face it, we were all that kid. So first, call your parents to say I'm sorry, and then download the Instacart app to get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes all school year long. Get a $0 delivery fee with your first 3 orders while supplies last. Minimum $10 an order. Additional terms apply.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
So a few of us took them, said, if you want to film us, you can walk around with us with the boom and just watch us be silly. And we're just sitting there laughing. We're supposed to have this casino party for Eris and Shaq's birthday, and we are just giggle city.
Let us not forget, we've got to rewind for one moment, because you and I also walked around and unplugged every camera that was hiding somewhere that would get us, like every security camera.
I forgot about that.
We unplugged them, and then we did the like suck it towards the camera. Like,
Oh
suck
my
it. Like,
We were on the balcony screaming.
And I want them to find that footage. I want
like
to see
flipping
it.
the cameras off. I think at that point we were just hoping it would be on TV. We're like, this is, when you see people just have an absolute meltdown. Now I'm like, was it calculated just to be funny and it actually looks serious? Because if people saw us doing that, they'd be like, wow, these girls like fully lost it. But in reality, we were having the best time. We were like cracking up laughing the whole time, like flipping the cameras off.
We were actually having so much fun that weekend until it was ruined. I will say that. That was one of like my probably second best moment with you all as a whole. I'm like, oh my gosh, why did they have to ruin this? What happened?
But then we had so much fun after because we didn't care anymore. And then we were all sitting around the table, and Clint, the little gossip girl, comes in. I don't know why he would tell me of all people. It's like he knows my fuse is barely there. And he was like, Nicole, his room was all the way in the back and it had a door leading to the like grassy area. He was like, Nicole, the producers are all out there and I heard them say something about trying to stir something up with Kirsten and Jasmine. I was like, stir up what? And he's like, I don't know. They were trying to figure that out. So I went into the room. I was like, so you guys are trying to make Kirsten and Jasmine fight when there's nothing to fight about? And they were like, no, we didn't say that. It's like, well, next time you talk about us, you should make sure that you're not outside someone's bedroom. And they were like, no, we just figured like we would put conversations in front of them and see if they want to talk about it. I'm like, do not stir up shit between people who don't need any shit stirred up because there's nothing there. So then they got all bajiggity because
Jiggity.
we caught them. We caught them.
Jiggity. Y'all should have came to tell me because I definitely would have shut it down. Seriously. I would have went down there and be like, rest in the room, watching the cameras that they're watching. Let me tell y'all something. This is what we're about to do since I was supposed to be planning everything. I don't understand why y'all want all this drama going on. Like, we're having a good time. Like, let's just do that. Like, we don't need any drama in our lives.
Because they wanted us to fight with each other, not with them. So we all get ready for this casino party. I'm the only one without a mic at this point, but I didn't know I didn't have a mic. But it doesn't really matter because if you guys go back and watch the episode, you notice majority of us are silent. Not everyone had taken these special gummy bears, but majority of us were just silent because we were so in our own zone. So we're just at this janky casino table with our Pizza Hut, just silent, standing there. But I remember having such a good time because I didn't care about anything at that point. And we had to do our final interview, and I have no idea what I said to that camera. I was in like full flying high giggle mode.
They never showed any of them, did they?
I don't know. I would actually like to go back and watch.
I don't think they showed any of our final interviews
because we were not wearing mics and
we were stoned.
We weren't cooperating properly. They didn't get what they wanted out of us. So they're probably like, we can't use this.
Probably.
Yeah, they're like, these people are all stoned and laughing and their eyes look like bloodshot.
We should go back and rewatch. But the point of that whole story is
don't do drugs.
They took something that was supposed to be about celebrating Chris and I and us all just being friends at the end, and they took it and ruined it because they wanted us to fight. And they said that past cast members think that we were being phony and not genuine. And all I remember from watching the show is how we were opening up, we were crying, we were vulnerable. So whoever said that, past cast members,
I don't even think they did. It's like Karen calling in from Ohio.
I mean, they didn't, but if they did, I want to hear it. Like, you know how to contact me. You can message me. I'll give you my phone number. Tell me that we weren't being vulnerable.
I've seen a few of them chit-chatting on the Instagram.
About us not being vulnerable?
Not that in particular, but I've definitely seen past cast members low-key like talk shit about us on Instagram comments. And I was like, it always gave me the most serious ick. I'm like, if you have been on this show and gone through the whole process and you know that things are edited and you've had to live through watching a different version of yourself play out on TV and then deal with people hating you on the internet and being so ugly to you, and then you're going to join in on that? Like, how bad do you want to stay relevant? You're forgotten. You're not coming back looking good either. And that's me being an asshole. So you guys know who you are.
Yeah, I think that's unnecessary for people to make those comments. Like you said, if they've been through the process. But I really feel like people still love us. Like, people still love Nashville season 16. I feel like when I look in the comments, they're still asking about us and our season, and they still say that we're like the best season ever. Even people who comment on D-List Diaries, and they're like, oh my gosh, newer people, older people, I'm just not watching the season. We love y'all. So I feel like people love us more than they hate us.
Well, I hope so. It all boils down to you really, like, we knew they were trying to manipulate us throughout filming, but I think by that point, because we had finished filming and we watched it.
We had watched it.
Yeah.
That was the difference. We were like, oh, we actually know. Like, just tell us what you want, because you're going to edit it into some sort of fun story. So if you want the story, just rather than trying to manipulate us to not like each other and fight, just what do you want? We'll give it to you.
It was just such a slap in the face. And seeing that water bottle being thrown, like, the dramatics. I'm sorry that we're not giving you the fight that you came for, but we're actually having fun. And if you wanted us to fight, you could have just given us a bunch of tequila and been like, hey, we think you should fight. And we'd be like, you know what? Okay. I'm always itching for a fight.
It's always interesting, too, because the amount of times that we, like, knew we were being manipulated, but this then still kind of, like, I'll be honest, when the producers called me about Where Are They Now, and they were like, we're so excited to see you again, and because it was a repeat producer, one of them, and I was like, oh, we're so excited. It's going to be such a fun, relaxing weekend, and we just want you guys back together, and no drama, drama-free, you know. They're like saying all this on the phone, and I distinctly remember that conversation. And I was like, you know, I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be really fun. And I still didn't get it. Like, they still pulled one on us, like, or pulled one over on us by making us truly think we were going to get together to have this, like, incredible weekend. And maybe that's why we all reacted the way we did, because we were just so fed up with being like, this is the last straw. You guys have, you know, made us think this is going to be like such a fun weekend, and here we are again, and we're getting messed with.
I feel like what I appreciate the most about our group of people, and I don't care what anybody says about us, but I appreciate that we just always stick together, and like, we're always kind to one another, no matter how someone may try to push us against or pin us against each other. We're always willing to, like, nip it in the bud. And I think that's why we still are so well connected with one another, because we didn't really have any issues with each other. We had a great time they selected a great group of people, and unfortunately, it did not work out for a majority of the couples. But I feel like we're still friendly. Like, and that's why I was like, whatever. And I didn't take it, I didn't try to get too upset. I was like, I just don't have time for this. I don't allow other people to steal my joy in this kind of way. Like, I'm around people that I love and we're having a great time, and I'm not going to let someone else come in between that.
I am glad that that day we really did that. You know, it's like, it's not like we went back to our, and just like, you know, separate areas and pouted. But then we had a really good time. Like,
Yeah.
we literally like, we're like, all right, cool. Let's go like hang out.
Like, screw y'all.
Yeah, I mean, we ended up having a blast, and they actually, I saw they announce they're finally coming out with the next season of Married.
When
I
is
think
it?
it's October something. I don't know the exact date.
Is that Chicago?
It's Chicago.
Chicago, yeah. I saw that too, Nicole.
Is there a preview?
Well, they did the preview at the end of last season. So I don't know if I haven't seen like any commercials or anything. I saw it on MAFS fan posted on Instagram that she said it's coming out in October. And I said I wasn't going to watch this next season, but I think now that we've been talking about our season, I am really excited to watch it because I want to see if they actually changed anything.
Don't get your hopes up.
Well, you never know. And I think we should watch it, and we don't have to give like a full review of the episodes because there are so many amazing podcasts out there that do review each episode, but we could kind of give our little inside scoop. There are also some podcasts out there filled with nasty ass women.
Yeah, we ain't talking shit about anybody. You nasties.
I will give my opinion. It might not always be nice, but I don't care what kind of platform you have. You do not use it to encourage other people being nasty and bullying. So we will not do that.
We will give our open-minded opinion on what we're viewing, but what we know is probably not really what's happening.
A bunch of shenanigans. I'm open to watching the Chicago season to see how everything plays out for each couple.
I don't know if I'm able to share my upcoming trip.
Yeah, go for it.
Am I? I don't know if that's, I mean, is that like NDA disclosed?
Tell the people what to look out for. What's going on? Where are you going?
I am going to Los Angeles in a couple weeks.
Fun.
To just do a little throwback filming with some people I've never met.
I used to love going out there to film.
For some reason, I definitely thrive in the chaos of travel. Like, I actually do better when I have 15 things on my calendar that involve going to an airport. Don't know what it is. Think it might be because I moved around so much when I was little, so it's like more homey for me to be on the road, like constantly moving. But I did love that. Like, I loved our trips out to LA, and it's a quick trip. I'm gonna fly in on a Tuesday and then film on a Wednesday and fly home on a Wednesday.
Oh,
so it's like very fast.
Are you staying at the Hotel Angelino?
I have no idea.
I feel like you probably are. I love Hotel Angelino.
I know, I liked that place, a little rooftop.
And there was one guy who worked at the front desk. He was so sweet. I was like, can you take my pictures, please? And he was like, of course. And we had a whole photo shoot. I was like, you're so awesome.
Yeah, we always stayed at the same hotel when we filmed after parties. And I remember they had, I don't know what made it so good, but this little coffee shop had the best cold foam on their coffee. And I would always ask for it. And at least half the time they would be like, we're out of milk. I'm like, how are you a coffee shop and out of milk? But when they had it, it was phenomenal. And after the reunion, we rearranged their entire lobby so we could do a full cast photo shoot. And they were like, yeah, this is great. Go for it.
And I missed it. I forgot. Or I like had gone upstairs too fast.
Oh, but those were such good times. And I feel like I don't know how people could see it. I guess we would have to have another show, but I feel like that's really where the good stuff comes from, is seeing us all interact when we're just living our own lives. I'm going in a million circles, but I think I intended to say we're going to review the show, but everyone should watch the after parties. And I know a lot of people skip them, and I used to skip them. I only started watching them for our season because I wanted to see us, obviously. But that's where you find out the good stuff, because those are filmed once the show has already started to air. So that's when people start to get angry or start to feel their feelings and the tea really gets spilled. So I recommend watching them.
I remember one time I watched the after party when Shaquille was on there, and I can't remember what he was saying about me. I was like, I'm about to throw something at this TV, and I'm going to throw something at him when I see him too. I'm like, oh my gosh, he is like overly exaggerating right now. And I used to have to tell him, Shaquille, if you're going to tell a story, you better tell it right. And on the after parties, we never got to film with our spouses. So it's like, I didn't know what this man was saying until I watched.
We used to film like 2 or 3 episodes in a weekend. So one time we went to Atlanta for it because Keisha was very pregnant. And I remember I filmed 1 week's episode. I can't remember who was first, but I filmed one with you, Kirsten. And then the one right after it, we would have to like go change our outfits, change our hair a little bit. And I filmed right after with Shaq. It might have been reversed, but it doesn't matter. And so we were talking about 2 weeks worth of episodes, and it was like your side of the story and his side. And I remember it was like, oh my God, like, can I jump in? Because I know what's happening here. They don't know what's happening. And Keisha knows, but she has to act like we didn't just film this other side of the story. That was stressful, but I actually had a lot of fun that weekend.
Also, you weren't there, Nicole, the weekend that we were all supposed to fly to Atlanta, and there was a wind advisory, so they canceled all the flights. And then they were like freaking out, like, you guys have to get to Atlanta. And we're like, okay, well, how? Like, we can't get on an airplane. And they literally they called us an Uber, and we all rode down to Atlanta in an Uber together. We got in like after midnight.
No, it was a private transportation company.
Oh, I thought it was an actual like Uber that they were looking at.
No, and I was wondering how they found him. He came to pick us up in what, like some Suburban or some type of black truck, and he had on. Did he have on a suit or like some slacks or something? He was professionally dressed. And also, Nicole, it's crazy that you didn't go with us this time because like our flights were delayed like 4 or 5 times.
And I didn't go to the airport. Clint was like super early.
Oh, yeah. He was there like 3 hours early, and he had already checked his bag, and he couldn't get his bag back.
Checked his luggage, yeah.
Yeah. I was sitting there at the airport for a while too, and then I came back home, and I was like, I'm not going. I don't care what truck they send to pick me up. I'm just like, acting like I'm really not going. I went to go get tacos. They're like, Kirsten, where are you? I'm like, I went down the street to get me something to eat. I'm like, Clint, you want some of this? He's like, of course. And so he ate some of my food. Like, we had food on the way. It was insane. And then everybody falls asleep, Nicole. And I'm like, this man could take us somewhere else. I watched too many movies. I must stay up to protect us because they're not going to know if we go over route. And I'm like, let me just stay up. I always stay up when like a stranger is driving me because I just never feel safe. I'm like, I don't know them. They don't know me. They can take me and lock me up in somebody's basement. Lord knows they'll probably set me free because I'll get on their last nerves.
Yeah, they'd be like, these girls jibber jab. Let them go.
Yes, please let her go, right? Send her back. Send her back.
Oh my. Yeah, didn't they have to like buy Clint a new outfit because he literally had like his entire bag was checked, so he didn't have anything with him? They had to buy him something.
Yeah, I think he bought something and they reimbursed him. I can't remember.
Didn't he also burn his shirt once and they had to buy him a new shirt filming After Party?
He always had some wardrobe issues going on.
During our honeymoon, our luggage was lost for the first like 4 days, and I had to get all of my clothes out of the gift shop. And so people were making fun of us because they were like, why does he wear all the Jamaica clothes? They had like a lot of girl clothes, like dresses, and I think I still have a couple of those dresses. So production literally bought me like all these like Jamaican dresses and like outfits, and Clint just had a bunch of shirts that said like, I love Jamaica.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Funny time.
So that's our story. I mean, I feel like I told it and it doesn't sound as traumatic as when it actually happened. But the point of the story is that they tried to break our spirits and make us think that everyone was against us. And that just wasn't the case. And we're all friends. In fact, Chris was upstairs the other day and I saw his phone ringing and I saw it was the Men of MAFS group. I won't say their group chat name because it is sacred, but I saw them FaceTiming, so I picked up and I was just chit-chatting with the boys and it was so normal. I'm like, oh, hey. And they started a fantasy football league with a bunch of other guys from other seasons. So they're actually showing the girls up. I feel like the guys are doing a better job than us. So this is me saying out loud that we need to have some girl power and get some of the girls from past seasons and do not a fantasy draft, but like something, maybe like girls trip. I don't know.
Girls trip or some hair or skin tutorials together. I don't know. Little mashups.
Group tutorials. But I just thought it was so cute that they were all just FaceTiming. Like, just wanted to say hi, see how everyone's doing.
That's sweet.
Eris was like, Chris, blink twice if you're in trouble. And I was like, don't you dare blink. We talked about this.
They are funny. Eris is always joking around. I'm surprised. I haven't seen Eris in a while.
No, I haven't either.
Like, I feel like it was 1 year. Was it the year after we filmed? We were literally going out to the same parties and rooftop parties. I would always run into him to where I would hit him up and be like, what's the move this weekend? He's been in and out of town a lot.
Yeah.
Well, every little tangent makes you stronger in our case.
Then we should be Iron Women.
If it's in a relationship, that's toxic. You should move on.
That's your general advice for life?
Yeah. Like if you're having a tangent, like with your production, it's fine. It made us stronger. But if you're having tangents with your partner, you should get a new one.
I see where you're going.
No toxic relationships allowed.
Period.
We did not have that. I will say that. Our whole season, no one was toxic.
No, we did not. I'm happy we didn't have that. That would have been awful.
Yeah. I can't imagine going through that entire process. We've said this a million times, I think, but truly, like, I can't imagine dealing with the stress of all of that and watching it back and hating everyone that I did it with.
Yeah, because there have been some psychopaths on this show.
I would probably cry. I would probably be so drained.
We would definitely need a lot of therapy.
As if we don't already.
I do, because I think I'm suffering from a little bit of anxiety. I woke up at 3:23 today.
Oh, no.
But when I woke up, my Aura Ring told me that I was very well rested. So I was like, okay,
Wow.
I was like, I feel good. Like I still feel fine.
Did you go to bed early last night?
No, it was like 10:40.
That's late.
But we get in bed early. I didn't like fall right asleep. Definitely very routined at night. We like to get in bed by like 9 or 9:30.
Mm-hmm.
We watched Beetlejuice last night.
Are we going to see the new one this weekend?
Oh my God, I'm obsessed. I'm going to be in Tampa this weekend.
Oh.
Y'all are funny. I'm definitely not going to go see Beetlejuice at all.
What? Okay.
Kirsten, what?
Wait, let's wrap this up and then we could yell at her because we can't say, we already said it twice, but it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm
too.
dying to see it. And I asked Chris if we could go this weekend, and he said maybe, and I almost divorced him on the spot. I was like, it is a yes or yes question, and you said maybe.
Exactly. We're the same. I'll go with you because I feel
You're
like
going to Tampa.
Well, do we have to? Can we not go like Monday? Can you wait a few days?
No. But I could see it
You don't
twice.
understand. I love anything Tim Burton, specifically Beetlejuice, and we watched it last night. I don't know that he loves it as much as I do.
Forget the men. We don't need them.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait on me. But I feel like it would be worth the wait. I am worth the wait. It's going to be more exciting if you're sitting next to someone that is as big of a Beetlejuice fan as you.
That's true. You keep saying it. He's going to start waking up.
I've got one more time. And my movie theater has the sodas.
Your movie theater has the soda. I know.
Listen, don't tempt me with a good time. I'll buy us tickets right now for the Monday.
I need my Diet Cherry Coke.
Y'all are too excited.
All right, everyone. Sorry I did the majority of the talking. I know that's not unusual, but I just really wanted to share this story, and I'm so glad we're all together for it, and I'm so glad we're all still friends. I don't take it for granted that we have each other, and thank you for everyone who keeps on tuning in every week. We're really appreciative.
I'm so grateful we're all still friends, and we're not toxic. And we're very authentic with each other. And we do share how we're actually feeling. And we don't just say we're okay. So I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And I'm happy that people are still listening. I'm happy that Gina even listened and tuned in, even though we missed her last week. And we're so happy to have you back again. And thanks for always loving us and making time for us.
Well, hashtag biggest fan over here. No, it was really good to like tune in as a listener, but yeah, I love you guys too. And I feel like if we can there are several, I know we bitch a lot about the show, but there are several good things that happened even in the midst of filming and watching it back. And I think the personal growth was definitely one of my top things, and just being able to really get vulnerable and explain how I'm feeling. And I don't think I was great at that prior to the show. So I am appreciative of us like learning really how to be fearless in that and dig into our emotions. I love you guys.
Love you.
We love you. Well, message us on Instagram at D-List Diaries and let us know what else we can share with you. What other stories? Do you want to hear some positive stories from filming? Because I'm sure we have a handful.
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea. Let's share some positive stories, and then we can start sharing some new episode stories from this new season coming up. Woo!
All right. Well, everyone, tune in next week for some positivity, and have a great week, ladies.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.